Alrighty, guys, here's the Purpose Project video with my cousin Ben. Without further ado, Ben, please introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? Pleasure to be on the Purpose Project with my good cousin Will. Um, Will, good to talk to you again for sure. Good
Yeah,
always catch up. Um, but yeah, I'm Ben Diffley. I am 24 years old now. Just recently had a birthday. Graduated from school in December. I went to Williams College up in Massachusetts. Um, and then I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, or Somerville, South Carolina, originally. Um, and yeah, now I'm back home. I'm trying to play soccer for a little while. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sure we might get into that a little bit more, but yeah, that's sort of who I am and what I got going on right now.
awesome, bro. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen each other in person, but we definitely got to try to link up one of these days. Now that I guess I'm going back to school, but that's the plan. But definitely should link back up one of these days in person. But some icebreakers. So, first question out of three is, what do you like to do? It's kind of broad, but
Yeah, no, great question. Good way to get into it. I mean, you know, a lot of the stuff we used to just always like as kids, just play sports. Clearly I haven't been able to get away from that too much. I love being active. It's just good for me. I feel good inside, body always feels good. And then I also love nature, sort of the outdoors. My other passion is landscape design or like landscape architecture. And I've really gotten into that, just like being more attentive to the world around us, I think, and being willing to live a more multi-species existence and acknowledge other species' presence in the world with us, I think is a really cool idea and something that's going to help us sort of work toward a better world in the future. So I think just being outside and being with nature and trying to just live in the moment. And that I think that's why I like sports so much, is just because it forces you to really get out of your head and just react and be in the moment, stuff like that.
yeah, that's awesome, bro. We both, I think, share a love of sports that I don't think I'll ever stop loving sports. And like you, I think the outdoors is a great place for healing and it's very therapeutic. That being said, the second question of some icebreakers is, what's your favorite sport to watch?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think this has changed a lot in the past couple years. Honestly, now I'm definitely a big soccer fan. Manchester United is the team that I support. Tough run for us recently, but I don't know. You got to always hope for the best.
The
And yeah, what was that?
the English is
Yep,
that's
English. Yeah.
it's
No,
English, right?
yeah, it's what's on TV these days a lot. Premier League has become so big, especially in the United States. And it's cool, like having a bit of a community over here. Yeah, it's cool and it's fun to watch for me. No commercials during 45 minutes halftime, so that's huge.
You
But yeah, I like football back in the day when the Patriots were good. Um,
there's a
basketball
lot
was fun because the Celtics are good too. But
Steelers. I'm a Steelers fan. Ben's a Patriots fan because his dad's from the Boston area.
yep, some good rivalries back in the day.
Now the Celtics, there a lot of people are saying they're the favorites to win this year's championship, but we'll see. The Cavaliers look pretty good.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that game recently with the Cavaliers and the Celtics. The Celtics were up 25-3 in the first quarter, and the Cavs came back to win. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Wow. No, I didn't see that. But these
Yeah,
NBA games this year is like it's never over, you know? Been some
yeah.
cool comebacks.
Basketball is a game of runs, my friend. But anyway, the third
It is.
question: what is your go-to pump-up song?
Ooh, that's a good one. I was thinking about this. I think right now it's the Old Faithful is On a Mountain by Gunna. I'm a huge you get the guitar into it and you get the feel like I'm sitting on a mountain and I get that sort of feeling and it gets me going. So love that
Nice,
song.
bro. I don't think I've heard that. I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, great song.
So, what's your like genre of music that you like? Do you like rap, hip hop, pop,
Yeah,
country?
I'm like all over the place. I was looking at my thing today. I'm a little bit of rap, a little bit of country. I even like my like Latino, Hispanic stuff sometimes. And then I've been getting more into the like alternative scene, which is nice. I think I really like ambient music, like even like the lo-fi. I just love having
Yeah,
music on all the time. So it really helps me like almost regulate my mood in some ways. Like I just am able to like, okay, lo-fi, here we go. Now I'm studying. Or like I got
right.
rap, now I'm getting ready to work out. Or like what it kind of just like depending on my mood, I put on different music.
Nice. So, I got another question. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? Do you think young Ben would be proud of modern Ben?
Uh, Such a good question. I think when I was little, I never honestly I never really thought about what I wanted to be when I grew up. You always like as a little kid, you kind of always like I love to be I wanted to be a scientist because I loved being outdoors and like we used to run around and create little environments for like turtles or snakes or things that we caught. So I love doing that. And then I mean, I think everybody, little kid, when you play sports, you're like, oh, I want to be a professional athlete. But I never really took that dream too seriously until recently. So I think, yeah, those are my two, like scientist slash pro athlete. And I think to answer the second question of would I be proud of where I am today, honestly, I think, yeah, I think this looking back, I would be really proud. Just because I think I'm doing what I want to do, and like sometimes that's difficult in today's world. There's so many things and so many sacrifices that have to be made um, in order to just live life effectively. And I've been lucky enough to just be able to continue to do what I love. And so in that way, I think I would be really proud of myself.
That's awesome, bro. I'm proud of you being your cousin. I mean, Williams is. I'm not sure if we've talked about this in the previous one that we did, but Williams is a very good college. In fact, it was ranked the best college out of all colleges in the U.S. back in like 2015 or 2016. It's the best liberal arts college in the country, so I applaud you for graduating and now pursuing your dream of playing soccer. But the fourth question is, um, where did you go to school, both high school and college? Which did you like more if you had to choose?
First of all, thanks for those kind words. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, coming from you for sure. Um, I always sort of looked up to you in that way when we were kids and even still just your intelligence and your ability to reflect. So those words mean a lot coming from you. And then secondly, I think school wise, I think what I settled on is I enjoyed college just because I feel like I got to blossom there and I enjoy the small environment. It's very remote up there. It's like in the very northwest corner of Massachusetts. Um, so you really are forced to kind of have your group and being on a team. I think it was cool. I was around like-minded people who wanted to play and who also cared about their academics and were ambitious in terms of career stuff and also like to have fun. So I was just around a lot of really like-minded people, and that just gave me a really enjoyable life, but also pushed me in the areas that I needed to be pushed. High school, I still had a great high school experience. Don't have many bad things to say about that, but just different. I feel like I really sort of grew into myself in college.
Yeah, became more comfortable in your skin, and
Yeah.
began to find like more direction and understanding of what life is,
Yep, certainly.
and your place in it for that matter. Anyway, I understand that you were a goalkeeper on the NCAA Division III Williams College team that recently made it to the finals. I got three questions here. First being, what did you learn from playing the goalkeeper position?
Yeah, playing goalkeeper, especially recently, I've had to really just dive into it. In order to sort of get to that next level, you really microanalyze every little thing. Um, and playing goalkeeper is so much first and foremost about knowing your teammates, and just knowing people's tendencies for both from a personal and psychological perspective, but also from a physical perspective. What are they capable of? Is this guy gonna, for example, is a guy coming down the right wing? Is the defender gonna shield him sort of towards the end line, or is he gonna want to let him cut back a little bit more? And then understanding how to talk to your teammates. So who's gonna do well with when you're getting into them a little bit and sort of wanting to push them in that way, or who needs to be uplifted with more positive reinforcement. So I think little things like that, um, and then just the importance of like I think dumbing things down to the simplest possible thing, um, which is just reacting and seeing the ball and not trying to like do too much. I think I've just learned a lot that there's a lot of simple, beautiful parts about just keeping things very, very basic in terms of you're just trying to keep that ball out of the net. Um, and yeah, it's just an enjoyable thing, I think.
Nice. Um, so what did you learn about what a successful team must have from your specifically from that run you guys went on to make it to the finals against University of Chicago?
Yeah, I think just buy-in, I think is something, it's a cliche that people toss out all the time, but that team was so bought in to the collective and what coach put out there for the game plan. Especially late in the season, we weren't like we didn't play the most beautiful football out there. But it got the job done and it was effective and we created so many memories by doing that. So I think just having a togetherness, um, that's able to work. And I think just like the nitty gritty of teamwork in that regard, like all the conversations, like midweek, 3/4 of the way through the season when it's difficult, you know what I mean? People are having tough times with playing time and this, that, and the other thing. And there's so many things to manage. And I think our leadership that year did a really, really good job of just sort of setting a standard, but also making sure that they swept around to the back and made sure that everybody was doing okay at all levels of the team. And I think that's really important if you're going to have an effective team. I mean, they say that you're only as good as your weakest link. So I think that was something that was just like so evident that year. And it was really a team effort. I think we subbed a ton basically in terms of in soccer terms. I don't know where we were in terms of the country rankings and stuff like that, but it was definitely a full team effort for that year.
Nice. Yeah, I think any good team, you have to have good leadership, good communication. You got to be teachable.
Yep.
All those things, I'm sure your team, that team that made it to the finals, I'm sure they had all of those.
Yeah. And dude, so many of those, like, I mean, those are all like people are selling these sort of courses to businesses now these days, and it's all those same attributes, you know? It's like, can you just can you be effective in those environments and like can you support others and sort of know what it takes to be successful in any given environment and be willing to sort of sacrifice if you have to or do what you need to do.
Nice, man. All right, so the last question about the Williams College historic run is what did the historic run teach you about yourself?
I think just in a very positive way that you can rise to the occasion and like I really up until that point, I mean, I'd always played stuff, but I hadn't really won all that much. Um, and so I think having some of those big moments go right, um, especially for me personally, was just such a big boost of confidence, and really just gave me that inner belief to sort of go on and have a good rest of my career. I think even the years after that, it was just like, okay, when it comes down to it, like the moments that matter are the moments that matter. And I didn't get as upset about if I had a bad warm up or things like that. Like that stuff just didn't get to me as much, because I knew that there would be big moments and that those are the moments that really matter. And so I think I just really I had to have that belief in myself that when it mattered, I would be there. And I think I learned that season, which was huge for me.
Nice, man. Yeah, you're very articulate. Um, Anyway, moving on to the next question. How do you battle personal doubts and intrusive thoughts? Do you ever utilize breathing techniques or mindfulness strategies?
Yeah, totally. I intrusive thoughts are something that I deal with all the time, every week, um, and something that I've been dealing with for a long time in terms of just how those things work. But I think the mindfulness techniques specifically, I took a course at Williams. I was lucky enough. They have these tutorial courses, which is where it's a very small class and you have a partner and it's just you and the partner and you go speak with a professor for 3 hours once a week and you read a book each week. Um, and so I got these books are right here. Let me just grab real quick. But it was like these, some of these books played a really big role in sort of how I started to see the world. And I think we might have talked about this before at some point, but just realizing that I think it's not always like it's not always as it appears in your head, and you realize that your brain is hardwired to do certain things and make up narratives um just based on survival, like based on the way that it's wired in terms of evolutionary development, and that sometimes it's not your fault the way that you're thinking, and that you can, if you can become aware of your thoughts, then you can do a better job of managing them. So I think that was the huge thing is when I start to yeah, just have intrusive thoughts or go down a rabbit hole, I've become more aware of that, and I can now sort of pull myself out and say, okay, no, this is just my brain doing this, and I need to take a second and yeah, breathe a little bit, meditate, and just sort of ground myself and then go forward with my day. But I think those things have played a huge role, and we would always start the class with a meditation, which was just a lot of breathing and being aware of um, your body and just really focusing on the moment. And I think being present also is something that's so important because you can get so stuck in the past and the future and things that you just can't control. And I think living in the present is such a good way to just fight a lot of those things.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've since being in, treatment centers and hospitals and all that good stuff, I've learned some mindfulness strategies myself. Being observed, describe, participate, non-judgmental stance, one mindfully, and effectiveness. And that all comes from the this DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. I think it's really interesting, mindfulness and just the benefits of how you can apply that in your life. Yeah, I'm good. But finally, so what's next for Ben?
Um, what's next for me? I think I'm just basically right now I'm playing as much soccer as I can. I want to be a professional. I want to sign a contract one day. That's the goal. Um, and I also would love to have my own landscape design firm one day. So those are the two things I think I have long-term goals. Are those, and I think right now what I'm doing day to day is, like I said, I'm just back home, just making sure I go day by day, I get my workouts in, I get my nutrition right, um, and it's definitely not perfect every day, and there's always ups and downs, and I think part of it is just learning to manage those. Um, but yeah, that's sort of what's next. I'm just really excited to be back and done with school. It's like school is just it's great, but it can be such a burden. So
The
it's so good to be back and be with family and yeah, just be able to like I don't know, yeah, relax. Like my mom made an eggplant chicken parm tonight, and I'm just like so excited to go eat that and um yeah, just like I don't know, and enjoy the days, man. Like it's like so beautiful to just I love South Carolina and that it's early March and it's like we've already have plenty of 70-degree days and then it's heaven to go out there and just be in the yard and stuff.
Yeah. All right, Ben. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this Q&A with the Purpose Project Initiative. Is there any last words that you'd like to say to anybody? Any recommendations for life?
Um, no, I would say just I think you said it. I mean, just always look for push yourself, I think, to look for solutions because there's so much good literature out there and so many avenues to explore in terms of um, being able to just be a happier person day to day. And I think the happier you can be on a day-to-day basis, it makes for a happy life. So yeah, just keep exploring different things and yeah, get out there and try things. I think it's such an important thing and stick to what you like. Become an expert in stuff you like. It's really fun.
10,000 hours, Benjamin.
Yes, sir. 10,000 hours.
All right, guys, that's the end of the podcast. As I typically say, always try to be kind. You never know what someone else is going through. And like Ben said, try to be happy. Um, yeah, now is the best time than ever to try to pursue your dreams and just try to live a meaningful and purposeful life. So, with that being said, Ben, thanks a lot for joining me, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah, thanks so much. Well, I really appreciate it.